Hi everyone, Miss Victory Violet here with a new video. I had kind of sworn off doing any kind of videos because the editing is really hard and I'm not that great with computers, but I am back and I am going to try and start putting out more tutorials. So today I'm going to show you how to do my basic eye makeup. This is the standard eye makeup that I do every day. It doesn't really vary too much in terms of what products I use, so if you see a picture of me or a selfie or anything like that, this is pretty much how I do it and the products I've used. So enjoy! Okay, so to prep, I've done all my makeup apart from my eyes, and I know that I look kind of scary and I feel like Frida Kahlo with just eyebrows and lipstick and no eyes, so it will get better. So to prep my eyelids, what I did is I just used my normal liquid foundation. I don't really bother using like a specific concealer. I know that technically concealer is meant to be more gentle on your eyes, but I just have never had too much of a problem. So I use MAC Matte Master Liquid, just put a very fine thin layer of that over the top of Dermalogica Skin Perfect Primer. And then I did a little bit of powder over the top, which I use MAC Studio Fix powder. So that's how I prep my eyelids for eyeshadow application, and it works really well. I don't get any creasing, I don't get anything rubbing off during the day, so that's what works for me. So to start, we'll be using eyeshadows first. I've just bought the new Mattes eyeshadow palette by Chi Chi. I have been using the Chi Chi eye palettes daily for ages, and I knew that they had the matte one out, just hadn't got around to buying it, so I bought a fresh new shiny one just for this tutorial. Yay! So what we're going to do is I'm going to use that really light coloured one right there. I go for basically as light as possible, pretty much. Sometimes I'll use white because I'm so fair. With this makeup that I'm going to do, this is what works for me. So I have very fair skin. If you have darker skin, then you need to be doing darker colours. It's going to look really odd if you're a dark skinned girl and you use a white eyeshadow. It's just not going to suit you. So I would recommend using, for the first colour, like this white one that I'm using, I would recommend using a colour that's maybe 1 to 2 shades lighter than your natural skin colour, no more than that. And then for the dark one that I'll use later, then you use something that's maybe 2 shades or 3 shades darker than your natural skin tone. So I'm just going to get some on my, I don't know, it's a regular kind of brush. It's nice and powdery and it's good and easy for what I'm going to do next. As you can tell, I'm not too pedantic or specific about these things. I'm just going to go all over my lid, kind of blending it up a little, but you know, because it's not a particularly a colour that needs much blending or anything, it's just something that's really similar to my skin tone, then you don't have to be too worried about, you know, going everywhere. So once you've done that, I'm now going to I'm going to just switch off the Chi Chi palette for a second. I've got a slightly smaller powder brush. This is just, again, a really cheap one. And I'm going to use, this is my highlighter. I like a really sparkly highlighter in the corner of my eye because it just makes me feel pretty. So this is going to be a Inglot. So it's number 75. I bought this in Las Vegas actually at the Forum Shops. So it's just a really nice kind of silvery white, but it's not too silver, loose pigment eyeshadow. It is very pigmented, so you don't need much, and I'm just going to take a little bit and just dab it in the corner of my eye. Like that. And I know I just started doing this eye, but I think I'm just going to do this eye and then I'll do the other one because it's just going to make more sense. You can tell I don't do many videos. So you've done that, now we're going to go back to the Chi Chi eye palette. I'm going to use this brush, which is just a large, rounded, feathery brush. And I'm going to go for this dark brown colour right here. And I'm just going to get a little bit on the end of my brush. I'm going to start it off pretty light. And I'm going for the dark brown because I like quite a strong crease. My eye shape kind of works with that. I do have a natural crease, so technically I shouldn't be darkening it down, but it's the way I think my eye suits it best. If you do have more inset eyes, then you probably don't want to do anything too dark. The taupe colour that is in this palette, that one there, that one would be really nice for you. So I'm going to just start at the corner and just blend it around and through the crease. Just soft strokes, kind of rounded action, and going a little bit down towards the corner of the eye. Yeah, so it's not too dark just yet. Okay, so now that you've done that part, now what I do is I actually get a different brush to be a little bit more specific about where I'm placing the colour. So this brush, I can't quite remember where I got it. I think it was at the Crown Brush stand at IMATS in Sydney like 4 years ago, and it is still going strong. What I like about this brush is that it's super soft, but as you can see it kind of has like a straight edge and then the rest of it is rounded, and I really like that because I can kind of use the straight edge to create like the crease line, but that rounded part blends it out naturally. So yeah, I will try and hunt for this brush on the interweb and post a link if I find it. If not, something that, like, you know, this brush that we just used, a smaller version of that could be really good just to kind of get a little bit more definition in the crease. So once again, I'm just going to put a little bit of product on to the, I'm focusing it on that line of the brush, and I'm going to do the same action again, but I'm just sort of building it up. So I always start in the corner and then build it round. Okay, and then you can just sort of, once you've kind of done that and you don't have any more product on the brush, then you can kind of just sort of blend it up a little bit so there's no lines. But you just don't want to do that if you've got any kind of actual product on the brush, just remnants is good. So that's that part, if you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and do this eye and catch up, and I'll see you soon. Okay, so they are more or less the same. Don't get too hung up on it if they're not. I don't. Now we're going to do the same dark brown colour on the under eye area. Technically, if we're doing true 40s eye makeup, you wouldn't be putting anything underneath. However, people's eyes are different, some people's eyes suit different things. I like to have a little bit of darkness underneath my eyes because I feel like if I don't, I look really tired. So I always go for a little bit of a smudgy kind of dark just underneath my eyelashes, as I just feel like that makes me look awake, which is always nice. So I'm using a smudgy brush for this, and this is I can't remember the name, but I will link it. So connect the eyeshadow on the corner of your eye to the bottom and just smudge it along to about the 3/4 mark, give or take. Also, I've got kind of little wrinkly line things that if I'm tired they just puff up even more, and when I don't have anything underneath it just feels like they look even worse. Okay, now I tend to go for the liquid eyeliner. Now, if you're just starting out with liquid eyeliner, then I would recommend trying more of like a gel consistency, or some of those pen ones with the felt tip. They can work well if you find a good one that's highly pigmented. I like liquids. This is Rimmel Glam Eyes, and I've been using this for years. I buy it basically because, well, one, it's cheap, and also it has a very, very fine little tip, and it's actually brushed. It's not one of those hideous fat felt tips which you're never going to be able to get a precise line with. So this is what I use. It's really like, it's like $16 or $17, which for a liquid eyeliner is pretty good, and it lasts me quite a while for doing it every day. I probably buy maybe 3 or 4 a year, maybe not even 4, 3, yeah. So what we're going to do is I like to do the flick first on each eye, so I can try and line them up, and then I fill it in. So for the flick, don't have too much product on, and I'm just going to go in from the very corner of my eye. You don't want to come too high up because that's going to look weird, and you don't want to come too far down because that's going to drag your eye down and make you look sleepy and tired. So you want to come basically straight out from the corner and then curve up if you so desire. How far you come up is up to you. I like quite a dramatic flick, so I go quite long. Okay, and I can't really talk while I'm doing this or it is going to look hideous. Something like that. And I'm going to try and match that up. Okay, now, so I've done the flick. Now I like to start with, again, not too much product on the brush, and I like to start from the inner corner and build it up and go around. And if you can try and do the liquid eyeliner with your eye open, and not, like, if you pull your eyelid and once it pings back, it's going to be a little bit bumpy, it's not going to look great. So if you can try and just get into the practice of just looking down, you know, maybe having this position and drawing it on with your eye open, then I think it works. That's what works best. It just kind of is a weird feeling having your eye open and having a pen coming towards your eyeball. It's not a comfortable feeling. So I'm at this point now, and I kind of go, yeah, I'm really sporadic. I kind of go to the middle and I go, okay, that's still looking good, and now I'll go and start bringing the flick and meeting it up. It's really hard doing this with a camera in front of you. This is why I don't do tutorials very often, because I'm stuck at it. Okay, it's starting to get good. There's just that weird line there. Okay, that'll do. Other side. One thing that I learned in the Cherry Dollface workshop was a really good tip. I never thought about it, but you know how you have your one side that you're really good at doing everything of, so you do that side first, just naturally. But if you do your bad side first, then it's much easier to match it with your good side. because if you do your good side first and you're trying to match it on your bad side, it's just really hard. So, good tip, Cherry, thank you. And I always forget to breathe when I'm doing this. Okay. That is good enough, considering it just feels really weird trying to do it in front of a camera. So that's what I've come up with. Not too bad. So you always want to have it starting, you know, quite a fine line and then just getting thicker. And practice makes perfect. I've been doing this since I was about 17, 18, so I'm 25, 7 or 8 years. Now I'm going to use mascara. I'm going to use Benefit Roller Lash, which has this cute little pink roller on the end. I always do the top of my eyelashes first, just to try and make sure that I've got, you know, because my eyelashes are quite fair, right to the roots, and that way it doesn't look silly when you look down. And the great thing about having liquid eyeliner on is that it doesn't really matter if you touch your skin. Funny faces when putting mascara on. And I do up to 3 coats with this mascara because it works really well. Doesn't get too clumpy. I'm going to do my waterline. I've just started using the Sephora pencil. So this is a really nude coloured pencil, which is just a little bit more natural than having like white under your eyes, because that just looks a little strange sometimes to me. As much as I like it, it's not kind of an everyday kind of look. Whereas the nude pencil just looks much more natural, and I really like this one because it stays on really, really well. I talked about that in my Sephora favourites post of all the stuff that I bought in Sephora in Paris. So yeah, go check it out. So you just line the waterline. Like that. So you can see the difference between my 2 eyes. One just opens it up a little bit more. And try not to cry. Okay, and then I do a layer of mascara on my bottom lashes. Once again, not technically true pinup makeup, but I like to have my bottom lashes lined. I mean, mascara'd. And the very last thing, which is kind of starting to go towards brow stuff, but we're going to do it in this. I'm going to use Highbrow by Benefit Cosmetics. This is a thick pencil, which is a highlighter. I am just going to do the very top underneath my eyebrows. I promise I will try and do a brow tutorial too. I use Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade for my brows, and I will definitely try and do a tutorial. So once you've applied that, it does need a little bit of blending, so I'm going to take a concealer brush and just kind of blend it down and make sure so that it isn't too clumpy. anywhere. You could do this first, but normally, like before your eyeshadow, but normally I'm doing my eyeshadow and my eye makeup before my brows, so that's why I've tended to do it in this order. Once you've blended that, I just grab that old round brush again and just make sure that everything is nice and blended, we don't have any lines. And voila! So yeah, this is how I do my eye makeup. I just basically use the same stuff every day, which is why I don't really talk much about what I'm doing makeup wise on my social media and things, because it's just boring and standard the same day. I just really change my lipstick. But I hope you enjoy. I'm going to try and put out more videos, so let me know what you want to look at, what you want to learn about. Probably brows will be next. Make sure you subscribe to my blog, www.missvictoryviolet.com, because I'm always putting up new stuff 3 or 4 times a week, be it makeup reviews, hair tutorials, clothing, everything to do with everything. And I'll be posting up an accompanying blog post that's going to really detail in full all the products I've used with links, and just make sure that everything is up there for your viewing pleasure. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.